John and Stephanie Iannotti, where are you? Okay. All right. John, you guys want to come on up here and right now, let's meet the class. And then frankly, I'll let you go back there and sit as long as you have a microphone in your hand. You have my permission to interrupt as you see fit and insert what you would do the same or differently. By the way, you have a license to disagree with me.
Great.
As long as it's not too much. If I put 10 businesses along that wall and I polled all 10 of them, would all 10 of them to be doing the exact same thing? No, there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
No.
Okay. They do things a little differently than I do. I'm probably doing it the right way. They're probably doing it the wrong. But you know, when they're doing the seminar, they're doing it the right way, and I'm doing it the wrong way. All right. They are the reason that ACTS exists. They brought it to me, and I immediately grasped it. First time she mentioned it to me.
Not.
I don't think.
Okay, no, I didn't. It took a while to get my attention. I'm no different than anybody else. Anytime something new comes along, the first thing I'm saying, that's a load of crap, you know. Prove it to me. Anyway.
But Ron, isn't it when the student is ready, the teacher will appear?
Shut up, John. Yeah, sometimes you just get too smart for your pants and learn too much. Yes, well, that's true. Well, the student wasn't ready. Okay. Anyway, they coined the term ACTS, or that or they stole it. I don't really know which, but I don't care. We'll see what that means. And they doing ACTS right where they live, and they were doing it before I met. And now I created a system, and I suspected they're doing it actually more now. And we do have it systemized now. We do have it to where anybody can duplicate it, and a lot of folks are doing ACTS deals all over this country just that fast. And we just, 6 months ago now,
right,
when we started. Will you explain to them about what your business looks like? I know you live in Florida and you work in Pennsylvania. Tell us.
Okay. Well, we do everything, you know. So, I mean, when Ron taught us years ago how to be a transaction engineer, and that's what we became very good at. A couple years ago, when the bubble burst, there was a little bit of an issue because cash flow kind of turned into red ink, and it was like, wow, you know, what do we do here? So we did, I always like to say, we did what old coach Chuck Noll used to say when they had a bad game, which was a rarity, you know, the Steelers. And they would go back to basics, blocking, tackling. Well, that's what we did. What did we do when we first started with Ron? And that was we went to using options and lease options. And so we regressed back to that, took that idea and tried to implement it with what was going on in the marketplace today. And we tweaked it, changed it a little bit, and after about 4 different attorneys reviewing everything, we got it to where it was okay, you guys can do this. So we started implementing the program, and all of a sudden here we are, we're doing a deal, and it turned into ACTS. Now we're doing probably 3 to 4 deals, and I usually say per month, but Ron always says, tell them the true numbers. 3 to 4 deals per week with ACTS. We also are still doing short sales because that's prevalent down here in Florida. We're big into bulk buying of non-performing notes and REOs. And actually now the non-performing notes, we're actually using the ACTS with those, because we can either modify the loan for the home seller and keep them in the property, or they turn over the deed to us, and now we go find a tenant buyer to put in there with seller financing based on a lease option with ACTS. So it's helping people stay in their home if they want to stay in, and it's helping people get out without a deficiency judgment or a bad credit report from us reporting on their mortgages. So that's what we're doing down here, mainly in Florida. Pennsylvania, we have our business on autopilot, so that's where the ACTS is really being implemented up there.
You have one person up there, boots on the ground.
Yes.
Rest of it is done by VAs.
Correct.
Virtual assistants, and they run your whole business. And
Correct.
You're down here.
Correct.
And you don't feel any remorse whatsoever about that, do you?
Actually, the only remorse I have is, you know, Ron used to tell us all the time, I used to complain all the time about going to Pennsylvania and it was cold. Now when I come up from Fort Myers to Jacksonville, it's like, Ron, it's cold here. You know, and he always used to tell me, move. Well, Ron, move.
By golly. John, there's quite a few people that are listening to these tapes that do not know you. Tell us a little bit about your background before you got into real estate.
Well, when I got out, my big thing in life I wanted to do from 7th grade on was I wanted to be a policeman. So I went on to college back when it wasn't exciting to be a policeman, and got my criminology degree and went on to be a policeman. I even worked my way up to being chief of police on one department. Soon figured out I really didn't care for the politics and you know, the low paychecks I was getting as a policeman. So what I did was I more than doubled my income by going into the steel mill. So I spent 24 years in a steel mill, and I hated every single day of it. Not the people that were there, but the work itself.
I remember. International Harvester for me.
Oh man, I couldn't take
I
it.
get to train a monkey to do what I did.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it was a dirty, stinky dungeon kind of an atmosphere, and I hated it. But you know, there was something calling, and I basically had like unlimited overtime for 16 years. So I worked more than my share in that mill. And then we got bought out, so they cut back on the overtime. So now I'm down to 40 hours a week, and it's like, wow, you know, I got time on my hands. I should be doing something. You know, and my paycheck went way down. Even though it was still good, it went way down. And it was like, you know, we need to do something to make some money. Well, we were watching or reading the paper one Sunday morning, and on TV comes this guy selling an infomercial on real estate. And Steph says, well, you know, you're fidgety, what's going on? And I said, well, we should be doing something to make some money. She said, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to do that. And she said, what is it? And I said, turn it up, listen. So she listened, and she said, okay, buy it. And I said, nah, forget it. You know, so she ordered it. And that started it. That got us our first taste into real estate. It was about a year later, we ran into Ron at a convention. He was the 11th speaker of the day, or of the weekend, and the 11th program that we bought.
But justify that.
We're information sponges. We love, when we're into it, we want to know. And we were just, everybody who spoke, hey, they did a great job, they sold us, we bought their program. Went through them all. The only one that resonated was Ron. And, you know, the guy said, look, listen to me, follow this path, don't step off, don't change that wheel, you know, reinvent the wheel, all that stuff, and you're going to make money. Well, we did. Our first year in business full-time, when we finally broke away from our jobs, we did 7 figures.
How many?
7.
Any periods in the middle?
No.
No?
No, they were clear at the end
Yeah,
there.
that's 7 figures net?
Net.
Not gross?
Net.
Net.
Okay, first
Net.
year.
First year.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, we did it part-time probably for 8 months or so. And, you know, I went to Steph one day and I said, you know what, this is costing us money, me going to work. And she said, well, quit. Well, she only had to say that one time. Because I love my job. Yeah. So I told them at work, hey, I'm taking all my vacation and I'm not coming back. And they said, you'll be back. And I said, no, I won't. We haven't looked back since.
Got it. You know how close my story was? Same.
Yep.
Yeah, give him a round of applause for that guy. So I could only take 2 years of International Harvester, and I told him to shove it. 2 years. That's all I could take of it. I was so bored.
Oh,
All right, Stephanie, since I know you're the real brains of this outfit, what's your average axe deal worth right now?
Average axe deal is about $6,500.
Okay. And realistically, how many of those a month are you doing?
We're doing about 12, but it sometimes goes between 12 and 16, so it just,
Per month?
yeah.
Okay. And that's true? That's
Yes.
not seminar crap?
No, it's not seminar crap.
And You're doing that mostly with VAs?
Mostly with VAs, yes.
What other kind of deals are you doing?
We're doing short sales. Axe is really the biggest thing we're doing right now, but we're doing sandwich leases because there's a lot of these that you want to stay in the middle of.
Yes.
And that's your choice. It depends on where you are in your business, but sandwich leases, short sales, non-performing notes.
You could probably get some deeds from time to time, subject to.
Occasionally. We haven't had a deed in probably,
It's been a while for the deed.
but we really haven't pushed
Probably
for that
because you
either.
quit asking.
Yeah, we quit asking is the truth of
You
it.
get in this mode and you forget, hey, I should have bought that one, not just leased it. But you can always, anytime you get a lease option on a property that you should have got a deed on, you can go back and get the deed anytime you want it. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
All right. All right. Is there anything else you want us to know then before I get into the?
I'm a very type A personality, so this just killed me for him to stand there and talk, and I didn't get to say anything, so I'm glad I get to talk now.
Woman with a mic.
But no, I'm a control freak, and I'm sure some of you out there can relate to that. So I want to, as a testimony to having the VAs work in your business, and not just for getting FSBOs, but doing everything that you don't have the time or shouldn't be doing. Because when we first started out, I quit my job of 24 years, and I was in a position that I controlled a lot of things. I worked for an orthopedic surgeon in the OR with his patients, and I was his personal assistant. So I was basically in control of him. So I thought that I should be in control of John, and I should be in control of our business. Well, I quickly found out, number one, I'm terrible with math, so doing the bookkeeping for 3 years on my own, wrong, cost us a huge amount of money, because I had to then hire a bookkeeper after my CPA said, you have really screwed this up royally, to redo everything and get me back to where I needed. But John said to me one day, he walked in and he said, I'm tired of this. You can't control everything. And he shoved a piece of paper at me, and it said, this is the ad I'm putting in the paper. I'm finding somebody. So make long story short, we brought people into our office, and he just about went nuts. He said, I can't handle the drama.
All women.
Yeah, all women. And the phone would ring, one would pick up the phone, and a funny story would take place. They'd tell the rest of them, and I'd be in the other room listening, and nothing was getting done. So the next time he came to me, he shoved another piece of paper underneath my nose, and he said, we're hiring VAs. I said, what's a VA? And he said, a virtual assistant. And I'm like, okay, where'd you hear about that? He's like, well, online. I've got it figured out. And I'm like, okay, right. Let's see how this works. Yeah. But what we found out was how we took 4 people in our office, full-time people. We now operate with 1 acquisitionist on the ground, 1 handyman that's just on call when necessary, and 1 guy that is just kind of like he'll go and do things for us, like put the signs out and do little things like that, and 2 VAs. That's how we run our business, at a fraction of the price that we were paying for 4 full-time people.
All right.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you two very much. Give them a round of applause. Hold on to the mic. Certainly going to be hearing a lot more from them and others as well.